Okay, so welcome, Ruth, to this discussion, power half hour discussion, and we'll do a little meditation. So to start with, just going to share my screen. So don't know if you can see that on your phone, but this is an email I sent out this morning. So you should have received.
Can I turn my camera off?
Yeah, by all means, turn your camera off. And I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the screen? Okay.
The connection's going in and out a little.
Okay. Well, I'll just read the quote for today. And you're on my
okay, I
mailing
can
list.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you read that quote then?
I can see it. I can read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I read it out?
Yeah. Please do.
It is when we act freely for the sake of the action itself, rather than for ulterior motives, that we learn to become more than what we are.
What we were, yeah. Which is
what we were.
By a guy called Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who's passed away actually last year. He was the world's probably the leading expert, I suppose, on this idea of flow. He coined the concept, and it's as I point out in my my little post about it here. It's not exactly a new concept. It's been going 25 centuries, probably longer. But Laozi, the great Chinese philosopher who founded Taoism, was really the first teacher to focus in on it and talk about it in some depth in the Tao Te Ching, which is one of the sort of ancient spiritual classic texts, which I sent out the link to that on email, so you can download it. It's freely available. There's amazing wisdom in
it. I haven't received the email apart from the things that the original one that John sent. I think I haven't seen one from you.
Okay, check your spam folder because it might be in there. Possibly.
Okay, yeah, will do.
And if you send me your mobile number, I'll send you a document which you can whitelist my address. There's various whatever you use. Do you use Gmail? I think you mentioned that.
I use Gmail and Hotmail. Yeah.
So there's a way of whitelisting to make sure it goes into your primary inbox. Okay. But those techniques, so yeah, you should receive these every day. So this teaching is very ancient, and all that Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi did was he brought it into some kind of modern context and put a word to it and called it flow. So it's become part of the kind of psychological lexicon of the 20th century. That it came more into predominance because he named it and he wrote books about it. But it's a very ancient idea, and it's really the idea, simply put, that there's this Tao, what Laozi called the Tao, and you can call that the God or oneness or formless essence of life itself, or beingness, or formless awareness. There's many names for it. It's really, the idea in Western teaching, we call that God. It's everything. It's the allness. It's the wholeness. But not as a separate being. It's everything. And so what Laozi saw was that everything's really just an expression of the Tao. So all life stems from that. All life flows from that. And when you're in the flow of life, as you just described, you're seeing the colors, you're walking, it's a beautiful day, and you just feel connected. There's a natural happiness that kind of arises when you're in that state. Then this Tao, this essence of who you really are, is flowing through you, and it feels really good. It feels peaceful, and in that state where you're connected to the Tao and it's flowing through you in your words and your actions, then you have this state of harmony, and you have harmonious action, and you have what A Course in Miracles calls miracles, miraculous results that can come from that and through that. And so this relationship between God, the Tao, something that's transcendent, that goes beyond just this reality of time and space and form, and how this operates in form, how this actually plays out in the world. It's really one of the key themes of any spiritual teaching. And it's one of the key ideas in A Course in Miracles. So he calls these expressions or extensions of God or love, if you want to put in another name for God, Tao is love. These expressions or extensions are called miracles in A Course in Miracles. And it's obviously one of the key teachings, which is why it's part of the title. So it's how you express or extend this pure formless awareness, this essence that really transcends form. It's God has no form, but how do you express it in form and actually live through it while you're here? And that's really the art of living, and also the art of letting go, as I've called it. So the teaching is really saying we are that presence. We are God. We are love. We are pure formless awareness. Again, use whichever term is most helpful, because the terms are just pointers for your mind. They just point you into a state of mind and a state of awareness. So if God doesn't work for you, a lot of people are allergic to that because of connotations with traditional Christianity or past experiences, whatever. Well, use another word: love, pure formless awareness. Oneness is another one. Beingness. You could use the Tao. Again, simple three-letter word that just points you to the same thing. And so we are that presence. At some point, we chose to separate our minds from this awareness. So in that idea of separation from who we really are, from our true awareness, we create a false self. And that false self, because the mind has power, creates an illusory world, which is based on that self. And so now we're living in and through a false self, we're living in an illusion. And the thing with illusions is they're not very satisfying. We never really find happiness. We never really find love. We never find joy. And we keep looking within the illusion, within the construct of the false self that created the illusion, to find it. And so this teaching about the flow is one of the and miracles is one of the ways out of that, because you can allow this creative power, which we call God or pure formless awareness or love, to come through you, even in this world, when you choose to extend love. So if you're feeling connected, you're feeling one with other people and all of life, this extends to all sentient beings, plants, animals. They have a presence, they have a life essence. So when you choose to extend love to everyone and everything, then you feel this creative flow of love coming through you. And this is the essence of the so-called flow state. Or in Course in Miracles terminology, that's called miracle mindedness. And they're really, again, just different pointers to the same state of mind. But you can really tap into this essence and let it flow through you and be guided by it. So this becomes your default mode of operating. And in flow, it's not really you doing it. As he says, it's when we act freely, just for the sake of the action itself, rather than for ulterior motives. So it's not about, what does my little self want? How do I feel lacking? What do I desire? How do I get my needs met? That's all of the little self or the ego. Those are the ulterior motives that most people operate on in this world. What can I get from this situation, this person, that's going to meet my needs? And then temporarily, if you get those needs met, you feel a little bit satisfied. You get a hit of satisfaction, but then the same desire or craving, as the Buddha called it, arises again, and you repeat the pattern. And so this is pointing you beyond that, saying actually beyond that, there's just being rooted in your true awareness, which is learning to become more than what we were. And as you act freely without these ulterior motives, you learn more and more that essence of the Tao or God or love or presence is you. And so there's this deep connection between flow or miracles, if you want to call them, how this extends and expresses in the world, and your awareness of it, and you're learning that this is who you are. This is why it's been called a course in miracles and not a course in love or a course in God, because it's in the miracles and the action of it and expression of it that you learn that this is what you really are. So a pretty simple teaching, but very profound, because if you live this way, your life goes into another dimension. Living in flow is a very, very different experience from living in stress and fear and resistance, really. So it's one of the key ways that you're going to actually learn who you really are, connect with this essence, the pure formless awareness that is, right? So it doesn't move, it doesn't change, but you learn it by expressing that and extending that in the world. And so that pure formless essence and awareness is just there all the time, and it's extending through you, and it's guiding you. And so you must learn as you live this way, that it's always there, and it can always be relied on. In fact, it's never gone away, and ultimately this is who you are, and the ego fades away more and more as you do this. So this is the path of enlightenment. You remain in the world. You in the world, as Jesus said, but you're not of the world, because you're connecting to the source, and you're allowing that to guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Hi, Elaine. How are you?
Good.
Welcome. So we've just done our little discussion. You got the last couple of minutes on. So before we go into meditation, any thoughts on today's quote?
Yeah, it's reminding me of like when I'm writing, if I have a motive for my writing, or if I'm trying to how can I put it? If I just write freely, it's so much more. There's some things just surprising that come through that are just, when I started writing, I had no idea that thing would happen, that it would just that I could write about, say journaling or something like that. Even if nothing's happening, then like lots can happen. But when I've thought about writing as a way to earn money or something like that, I just can't. I don't know where to begin, kind of thing. I'm just sort of like, well, how do I go about that, or what do I
do?
Yeah, what do I do? It's
because you've got the end goal as your primary motive. So that's what he's talking about here in the quote. The ulterior motives, which are about worldly things like money and status, accomplishment. These kinds of things.
And also just like survival of how to. It's sort of thoughts of how can you get through this experience without sort of doing a job you hate or things like that. And trying to find something. So there is like good intention of trying to find your sort of purpose, but then like you say, when you attach it to the end goal, or I don't know, like what is the end goal kind of thing, or like it's sort of
carry on.
Yeah.
Hi there. Okay. I'm just doing my thing here, so can keep as quiet as possible. Yeah, thanks. I'm closing the door. Sorry, I'm just letting in someone who's come to clean the place. So, I mean, that's a very good point that you made there, because if you get attached to the outcome, it blocks your flow. And that's in every instance.
And also kind of thinking, who is going to read this, and what do I want to get get out of, like that end sort of, what do I want to get out of it? But then there's also sort of thinking of the danger of writing certain things, like this could be dangerous to what will people think is one aspect, but then if you sort of express your true sort of what's inside, you think there's things that could be very sort of inflammatory in society, or like actually against people's interests, as it were, that they might sort of, it might cause you problems, but
yeah, I understand. So then your ego says, oh no, don't write that, because that might be threatening.
And just dangerous. It's sort of like then if you think that way, you sort of limit thoughts, because it might be what people's beliefs are necessarily, but they're just, I think I just find I have to say what's inside, I have to just I'm just started writing something again, and I am just saying what
Well, I think all great work, writing, art, sport, comes from the heart. People are doing it fully, and they're allowing that essence to flow through them. And
I may at some point.
It doesn't come if you block it and you stop it and say, "Oh no, my ulterior motives don't allow that." So all true creativity comes from the source of this essence, and the great writers and artists and anyone who's done anything that people go, wow, that has some depth and significance, have done it from this state of mind, and they did it just fearlessly. Often, they do push buttons and they do shake things up because they're speaking the truth, and the truth and illusion do not go together. And people who are wedded to illusions don't want to hear the truth. So every spiritual teacher, you look at Jesus, Buddha, Laozi in his time, because he and Confucius didn't quite hit it off. Confucius was kind of the chief head honcho philosopher of the Chinese state, and Laozi saying, no, I don't agree with a whole lot of your ideas. These aren't true. Actually, this idea of the Tao and the flow, that's what's true, rather than all this rule-based kind of you must do this and you must do this, and you have all these duties and obligations and so on. So not being scared to speak the truth that's coming through from the source. That's the mark of all great spiritual teachers. And then poets and writers and artists are very much in that tradition. Some of the great spiritual teachers like Rumi, and there's been various Sufi mystics who wrote great poetry as well. Hafiz, Rumi, these were great poets, and they're just expressing their connection with source in their poetry, in their words. And we still read them today, which is a testament. It's like it's hundreds, thousands of years, and you're still reading their words. Well, there must be deeper significance to those words. I mean, it sounds like you're on the right track with your writing. You just got to keep having the courage to do it, and not let the little self that speaks of ulterior motives stop you, because that's the force that blocks the flow, and then it keeps you limited to a smaller self that you thought you were. And as he says, flow and this idea of knowing who you really are, your true self, are intimately connected. It's only when we act freely for the sake of the action itself rather than for ulterior motives that we learn to become more than what we were. So flow and who you are intimately connected. Okay. Any thoughts on that, Elaine, or should we go into a meditation?
No, I don't think so. I do. It's wonderful when one gets into that space, and one knows when one's in it. And we can only just stay there.
Well, the art of life is really how do you get into flow, and how do you remain in flow? And if you can master those two things, then you can have a very happy and very productive life, because flow is an enormously productive state, because it's the source expressing through you, and it can do amazing things. because it's kind of stillness in the eye of the storm. You're rooted in your beingness, but then you're able to operate, much more effectively than the average person. I've seen that. The more you go into it, you can actually do things, and most people go, well, I can't. There's no way I could do that, or I could perform at that level, because it's not really you doing it. You see, this is the thing. The little self isn't capable of that. It's this greater source that's now doing it through you. So you become done through, as David Hoffmeister says. You are the done through. You're not the doer. You're the done through. It's just happening through you. You become a vehicle or a vessel for the expression of this divine source energy that's now found a willing channel, because you've opened your mind to it, and it's going, oh, okay, I want to come through into the world, and I need a willing mind and heart to do that. So if you open yourself to me, I will come through you, and I will do the works. And it's not really
empty mind. Mind. The mind can be willing, but if it's not empty.
So you got to start emptying yourself of this false self and all the ulterior motives. So he gives the key here is, this is about letting go. How do you find flow? Well, you've got to let go of your ulterior motives. And those ulterior motives we call the ego. The thought of, oh, I'm not quite good enough, so therefore I need to big myself up. So I need to be all grandiose and puff myself up, or, I feel lacking. I'm scared I'm going to not have enough money, so I need to make lots of money. These are all ulterior motives that drive human beings. And he's saying, if you can go beyond them and let them go, then you can act freely, and you can find this flow. And as you act freely, you tap into the source, and you learn that actually you're a lot more than just that little ego that's dominated by desire and fear and various other negative emotions that go along with it. So it's a very simple teaching, and as I said, it's not a new one. It comes from the ancient, the Taoism, which is 2,500 years old. Laozi kind of founded this. It's not a new idea, but it's as relevant as it was then, now, and possibly more so. Because how many people do you know who really live in flow, who are really able to live this way and express this and stay rooted in it? It's unusual. This is not, we don't get trained to do this as children, and when we're growing up. No one's saying, well, right, your whole thing, the number one thing is to stay connected to your source and allow that to express through you and be in flow, and explain how this all works. No one tells you that. They teach you about facts and figures and numbers and all kinds of useless information that's not actually helping you to live in a functional way. But fortunately, we have these great teachings, so it's never too late to learn, and doesn't matter where you are in your life. You can always learn this, and you can start practicing it right now, moment by moment. You can go, okay, these ideas, if I really apply them, and you do see a difference. I mean, literally, you did see it, Ruth. You're like, oh, wow, the colors are brighter today. I noticed that. So then, like, okay, well, that's telling you in a different state of awareness, and there's more flow. It feels kind of more connected, a bit happier, more peaceful. And you're like, okay, well, this, the experience is the thing with flow is it's self-rewarding in itself. See, so you don't need another purpose. You don't need to go like, okay, I need some grandiose external purpose. Validate me. The flow itself is rewarding. That's purpose enough. If I'm in that flow, I'm feeling happy, and I'm expressing love, then there's my purpose. I don't need to look anywhere else. Moment by moment by moment, that's that unfolding, rather than, oh, sometime in the future I'll find this amazing thing that's that's really gonna, then I'll be happy. This is how most people live, and it's dysfunctional, because it never, even if you achieve that, you're still then in the same future-oriented mode, and the flow is happening now. So again, it's kind of very, very much connected with the idea of being in the now and presence. All these ideas connect. So what you start seeing is that there's these two thought systems. You in one or the other. Flow and love and connection and miracles and being in the now. It's all part of one thought system, and all those aspects support each other. And then you've got the other thought system, which takes you out of that and resists life and fears and feels attacked and attacks, and it's a very stressing, straining, striving program. And that's the ego. It's always trying, and then what that tries to do is, because it feels lacking, compensate for its lack by getting things externally, whatever that looks like. So status, money, power, various things that feed it, and that just takes you out of flow. You're never going to find the flow if you're seeking for these ulterior motives. So that's the theory of it. Shall we do a little bit of practice? Let's do a meditation. Yeah, Ruth, did you have a question? No question. Okay. So I know you're out in the fields, but if you make yourself comfortable somewhere, just sitting down on a.
I was outside you at times, but it's okay now. Okay.
So let's go into a meditation. I'm just going to put you on mute. Okay, so just sitting comfortably. Each shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Clench the sphincter muscle. It's a muscle used to lock the energy in. Feel it rising up your spine to the heart center. Put one hand in your heart just to connect in with your heart space. Feel the energy drawing up the spine into the crown of your head. And just check in and scan your mind. So just looking around you, looking within, noticing any thoughts, any emotions, any sensations, particularly anything that feels negative, it's limiting, contracted, constricting in any way. Just notice those thoughts and those emotions, sensations that go with them. So it might be a block in your stomach, a knot in your stomach, clenched jaw, clenched fists, dry mouth, sweaty palms, nausea, panic attacks, wherever you are on that spectrum, that's the extreme of it. But just notice, breathe into any uncomfortable emotions, breathe into the physical sensations you notice, and you're creating some space and some light, some awareness. As soon as you do that, you notice some of the contraction and the negativity just dissipates to the nothingness that it really is. And so you exhale, just exhaling out, and have a sense of just letting it go into the nothingness that it really is. Blowing it all away like a dark cloud. There's no power to obscure the eternal sky, which is your true awareness, your pure formless awareness. So empty yourself completely. So only an empty vessel can really be open to receiving the flow of this life energy. Notice the peace and the stillness. This is always the essence of flow. So at the very core, there is stillness. There's a connection with the deeper self. And then flow is how that expresses or extends in your life, in words and actions. So breathing in again, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Energy rising up the spine. And remind yourself today's lesson, which is stating the truth of what flow is pointing to. I am still as God created me. I am as God, or if you prefer the word love, or oneness, or pure formless awareness. I am as these things, as this created me, this presence, this essence. And flow connects you with that source. The more you flow and allow the source to express through you, the more you realize that this is who you are. And that you're still as you were created. Your pure formless essence, which is love, has not changed at all. And all the illusions of yourself simply fade away in the face of this. So just breathing in and out, exhale, out through the nose, and just notice, observe the sensations of the breath. Notice the stomach rising and the chest rising, and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils and out of the nostrils. Just notice how it flows in and it flows out. And this flow of the breath, start connecting with this essence of flow, flow state. Just arising in the present moment through the simple act of breathing, focusing all your attention on the breath. So just observe the subtle sensations, the breath in your nostrils, and also the touch of the breath in the area just below your nostrils, between your nose and your upper lip. Bring your attention into the present moment. In the present moment, you can experience flow. It's a very smooth, non-resistant, happy, peaceful, underlying quality. And the more you seek it, the more it disappears. So just allow it. You just focus on your breath and you allow it to come. And give yourself a couple of minutes just to sink into this flow state deeply, just connecting. It's the very source of flow. This is who you really are. As God created you, love created you. This is what the flow connects you with. You learn to become more than what you thought you were. So step back, watch your breath, and then just allow this essence of who you really are, which wants to be known by you, to reveal itself in your experience for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. And then many thoughts arise, seemingly disturb this deep connection and flow. Just observe them, let them go with the help of your breath. Imagine they're like clouds just drifting by. They are ephemeral, they have no substance, they have no power. Take you away from your pure formless awareness and the light of your source that shines through it, shines through the blue sky of your pure formless awareness. Clouds are on another level, they're just illusory, they hang close to the earth. Beyond that is this infinite blue sky of your true awareness. So go there now, rise above the clouds, as they have no power at all to obscure this pure formless awareness and the light of your source that shines through it, and sink into that experience. Next minute or so of deep connected silence. And so gently coming back into an awareness of the body and the breath and the senses and the world. Mind transcended these for a minute or two. Just remember how nice that felt. Very deeply satisfying. A way that no external goal can satisfy you. And you can carry this essence with you. This is who you are, but flow is about how you express that essence in your life, in your words and your actions. So come back in the same way that we enter the meditation, in a very present way, focusing on the breath and subtle sensations of the breath. So breathing in, count of 1, noticing stomach rise, the chest rise, subtle clenching of the sphincter muscle, energy rising subtly up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart, connect with your heart space, and pull the energy up, spine into the crown of your head. Then scan your mind, so noticing any thoughts and any emotions going on, any sensations in the body that manifest these thoughts and emotions. And if there's anything negative or limiting or contracted or constricting, then just allow it to dissipate. Just exhale out through your mouth, exhaling out, releasing to the nothingness it really is. And blowing it all away like cloud patterns. Noticing how the energy subsides back down from the crown of your head, down the front channel of your body into your lower stomach and your groin. While your attention is down there on the count of 2, noticing the weight of your body, pressing down into the chair, feet touching the ground. Noticing what you're feeling and touching with your hands. Maybe there's a subtle flow of air on your skin. Notice that. Breathing in, noticing any smell in your nose. As you breathe in, a taste in your mouth, maybe subtle taste. And notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. And just noticing all these things from this very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. Without judgment, you must be in flow. If you don't name and judge and label and interpret everything, then you must remain in a flowing state. So notice that this essence, this presence, this quietness, calmness is very much with you, even while you bring your awareness back into your sense perceptions. And now on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around the room or outside, wherever you are. Notice the various objects, animate or inanimate, sentient or alive or not alive. And you just observe that this awareness that you hopefully connected with quite deeply over the last 15 minutes or so is still very much there, even though your senses are engaged, and you can see it in everything. So our lesson yesterday was God or love is in everything, because God or love is in my mind. So this awareness is the foundation of your mind. If you're connected to that awareness, then how can it not be in everything you see? Because all perception depends on that awareness. And so staying connected to this awareness while you still operating in the world, your senses are engaged, is the essence of the flow state. So I hope this meditation will set you up for a very flowing afternoon and evening. Just remember today's lesson, I am as God or love created me, and today's quote to bring you back and remind you frequently that it's really about acting freely from this state of connection to your source without being concerned about ulterior motives that connect you with who you really are, and you learn to become more than what you thought you were. So that brings us to the end of the session and meditation, and I wish you a very happy and flowing afternoon and evening ahead. And namaste, which means the divine love and the flow that comes from it in me acknowledges and honors that same love and flow in you. Just so you're aware, there is a session tonight, the masterclass, in which we'll take a dive into deeper dive into some of these ideas, and we'll also be talking about how you can actually live this way. So developed a course and a program which will help you to really learn these ideas and apply them in your life on a daily basis. And I'll talk about that tonight from 6 p.m. UK time. That's 8 p.m. South African time. So join us in the same Zoom room. So just log in the same way as you did now, then if you'd like to join us. So thank you, Ruth and Elaine, and again, namaste.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you a bit later. If you can't make it, I'll send the recording. If you have a your mobile number, I know you weren't sure about what that was. then please send it to me, Ruth. I don't know if you know what it is now, but
Um,